Also, tribe friends and family. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about the current energy because we are clearing some mega karmic soul contracts, especially during this time, especially this year. Now, it's exactly 10:33 as I start this video, so you could be seeing the number 333, but we are approaching symbolic. We are approaching the Chinese New Year, and there's so much sacred fire energy for the beginning of February. So happy February, everyone, too. This is being filmed on February 1st. Whenever you come across this video, it can be for you. You are always so supported to aligning to your higher timeline and remembering who you are. And this particular year is going to be a year of just major transformation, which I made a video about the Chinese New Year, the year of the dragon. So there's just so much fire, sacred fire energy. And we are being invited to just jump in the holy flames of the goddess and to just allow ourselves to surrender control, to surrender fear, and to surrender everything that is in the way of us really stepping into our highest timeline and remembering who we are. If you resonate as a mutable sign, or maybe you have a lot of mutable signs in your chart, if you resonate with the blue ray of light, with Syrian DNA, or as a Syrian starseed, or with the lion frequency, then you'll definitely feel this energy. Now, 2024 is the numerology of the number 8, which is ruled by Saturn. And it's also the strength card when it comes to the tarot. Now, if we think of the tarot and the strength card, that is a lion, and the woman is putting her hand in the lion's mouth. But the lion is not biting her. And what that represents is us this year, the year of 8, is a year, and 144, as soon as I say that, so you could be saying 144, 888, or 333. This is the year that we are really going to be asked to face our fears. And how do we do that? By facing them. We are going to be asked to face our fears, because often behind that fear is that paradigm shift. It is your highest and authentic truth. And as we face our fears, we can release the illusion that fears brings and see ourselves for who we are, remember who we are, and truly align to our higher timelines where we are experiencing heaven, where we are experiencing those high vibrations, where you are experiencing your authentic truth, which is not always high vibrational, but you are rooted in the heart space. And so when it comes to the energies of this year, we are being asked to be that person putting our hand in the lion's mouth, representing our own inner shadows, our inner demons, our inner fears, and looking it in the eye and bringing it to higher awareness, to higher love. And that is the way it is that we're being asked this year to rise, is by actually looking at our fears and facing them. So this is going to happen by you facing your fears, which shows up in, like, for example, conflict. You don't like conflict? Well, now you're right in it to face that fear of yours. You have the fear of getting hurt? You're going to be right in that situation to face those fears of yours. If you fear conflict, getting hurt, loss, this, that, we are experiencing exactly that, because at the end of the day, that is a blockage for you truly being really in your sovereignty, reclaiming your power, your energy, and merging with your higher timeline. Fear. Behind fear, there is love, but the fear is teaching some sort of illusion for us to work through, to get to that other side, to remember the truth beyond fear. I actually had this happen for me last year. And so it was the ending of last year where there was a period of, I would say, 8 weeks of my life where I told my mentor, I'm like, is this an initiation of fear? Because it's everything that my soul, a lot of things on a soul level that I feared is that one thing or that big thing happened. Is this happening on purpose? And we had laughed, but it is true that we right now as a collective are being very supported and releasing fear, which is in that root space. And we're here to be in our hearts, and so if you also are going through those same things of it's actually happening, because that's sometimes how these clearings happen. How do you revoke a soul contract? It's not always of just saying I revoke it. Sometimes it's your soul has to do that, has to face your fear and say, I love you. And that is how you break the contract, And so for some of the collective this year, it is going to be going through those things, facing them and understanding that they weren't as scary as you thought that they were, and it's asking us to master ourselves, because this year is going to be a great awakening. This year is going to be a lot of transformation, intense transformations for some people. Again, wherever you are perfect where you are. Don't ever compare your journey. You remembering who you are, you changing yourself does truly change the world. If you want to change the world, change yourself. We are to experience our higher timelines. If we're to experience heaven, 144, as soon as I'm saying this, then it is to release fear. It is to truly be in the heart space, which means that even some of our subconscious and our unconscious fears may come up, but only for us to truly, truly release the power it is that it holds over us. Try to think of it that way, like those fears, those things, those triggers that you wouldn't want to come up. They still hold power. And so you're going to take your power back, by sometimes actually experiencing the experience, by being more aware of it. Okay. So this year is also, it's just a year that's going to ask us to change, which is what we were talking about in the Chinese New Year video about the dragon energy. And so we have all of this dragon energy. We have a lot of Bridget energy. We have a lot of Sekhmet energy. This year is quite literally represented by a lion. And so this year, face your fears. Have the courage. You can do the things it is that you thought that you couldn't do. You could heal the things it is that you thought that you couldn't heal. There are way less blockages in front of you than you thought that there were when we really surrender and release illusion. For the symbolic gateway, Aquarius season, and for the Chinese New Year, you will start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. You will start to receive clarity, even if it's just the little bits of clarity here and there, or it's like these big revelations. This season is about revelations. This season is about receiving clarity of your path moving forward. It's about starting to see, the work it is that you've been doing, starting to see some results, starting to see little glimpses of where it is that you're going. It feels like we've been in such a death and rebirth cycle. And this year is a death and rebirth cycle, but for this particular season, start to feel some of that rebirth energy. This season, allow yourself to release the things that need to be released. Allow yourself to release the contracts, revoke the contracts that don't serve you. For some of you, go into the Akashic Records, which I do have a free Akashic Records workshop that's coming up in February. Feel free to go check that out on the website. You could go on Google for guided meditations. You can also just connect with higher self. But this is a particular season that would be actually really good to go into the Akashic Records as a meditation for yourself. Specifically, maybe when it comes to fear, different things happening in your life, or any soul contracts that can be cleared at this time. Is it easy to face our fears? Is it easy to go through these initiations? Is it easy? For the intensity, it feels like sometimes that these death and rebirth cycles ask of us. No, it's not easy, but when you get through the other side of fear, like go past the illusion and see what's on the other side, you're going to be so thankful that you did it. Going to be easy? No. Those blockages and illusions that keep us from our highest timeline, it's never going to be necessarily easy clearing those things, because then, we would all be jumping very quickly. However, you are more than equipped, you are more than supported, and you are more than resourced to do the shadow work, to do the clearings, to change. You are more than supported, equipped, and resourced by the universe, by spirit, and your higher self to change. This year's vibrations, like this year's collective energy, it is supporting you to change. Will it be easy? No, but that is why this year is represented by the strength card, the lion or the lioness. You have more than enough strength and love and courage to do what needs to be done, to make the changes needed, and to go after your highest timeline. And it's like not as much of going after like the lion energy, but that tamedness of like understanding that it was always here. I was always connected to my highest timeline. I'm releasing the fears, the illusion of fear and all these blockages. And you remember who you are. The collective will be purging out some major victim consciousness this year, which is also why this year is represented by the Strength card, because even that is a blockage as well. Even victim consciousness can be a blockage to you truly reaching your highest timeline. You're not even reaching for it, baby. You don't reach for the stars. You are a star. You shine bright. So remember who you are, and you got this.